This presentation is about the heavy cost and time overruns experienced during the building of the Elbphilharmony in Hamburg, Germany. In particular, the issue of moving to the phase of construction before all plans had been finalised. The Elbphilharmony is constructed on top of an old warehouse dating from the Second World War. It consists of a core public segment, the concert halls, and a private segment for commercial use owned by different investors. The private segment is made up of a hotel, restaurants, and private residential apartments. The project was part of a larger redevelopment project on the north side of the Elbe area. The cost of the building rose from around 351 million euros in 2006 to a total of 865 million euros at completion in 2017. The construction phase was subject to progressively rising costs, massive amounts of informal negotiation, poor decision making, and even periods when construction froze. This was back in 2011, when the project was on the brink of failure. However, the building finally opened in 2017, even though the original planned completion date was 2012. One of the main causes of this delay and the large cost overruns was the lack of detailed planning combined with poor management and oversight from the city of Hamburg. There were four major stakeholders stuck in the middle of this issue: the city of Hamburg, the construction company Hochtief, and the Swiss architects Herzog and de Meuron, and Regia. Regia were the project managers who held a large amount of power over the way the project was run. It is this power that was one of the major issues of the project and led to the many planning issues incurred before the project even got underway. For large-scale projects like this in Germany, there are normally 9 phases in the planning process. If followed strictly, it works out to be a longer process, but far more accurate and precise on estimating costs. The alternative is to plan and construct at the same time, which is often done for highly standardised construction projects, like residential homes, for example. The construction company will usually charge a premium for working in this way, but it is easy enough to implicate in small-scale projects as the technological risks are low and quality control is manageable. However, with the Elbphilharmony, when the contract for work to commence was signed in 2006, there were many different planning stages, and only a few of these stages had reached a point where they were finalised and ready to be carried out. Some crucial elements of the build were still only estimated budgets, rather than accurate estimated costs. For example, parts of the building were extremely complex from an architectural point of view, and Herzog and de Meuron, the architects, couldn't find any contractors to accurately quote for the building facade and the curved windows. Even though this was the case, they still proceeded to the construction phase without an accurate idea of either the time or cost implementations. The result was a drastic increase in the total cost of the project. The architects had brought this issue to the attention of Regia, but they chose to proceed anyway because they wanted to apply pressure to the architects. They thought that by applying pressure, it would encourage the architects to reduce costs as it would focus them on a more basic material and product. Regia were helped by the lack of oversight from the city of Hamburg and used this oversight to provide unrealistic cost estimates and therefore reducing their budget positions. For unique buildings such as this, a fixed price contract can increase the risk of future rises in costs. This is because requests for change will cause increases to costs. The construction company Hochtief had agreed a lump sum for the building contract, but the contract lacked the detail required for many parts of the building. Therefore, when requests for change were made, Hochtief had the right to claim for further remuneration. As the contract was not clearly defined regarding claims, Hochtief had reasonable ground for claiming the way that they did. Additionally, Regia also underestimated the amount that Hochtief would claim for. These claims led to a deterioration in the relationship between the different stakeholders and resulted in time being spent on activities other than the project, such as fighting the claims themselves. Elbphilharmony is an example of a mega project in Germany that started construction without a completed planning process. It has been suspected that the true cost of a project like this was kept from the government and the public at the start due to the potential outrage that would have been caused. Without support from the public and government, the project would not have been given the go-ahead. Even the costs and impact could have been communicated to the public more effectively. The developers and architects did follow through and complete a spectacular building, albeit hugely over budget and way over time. It can be concluded that finalising plans for projects of this size before construction starts is of vital importance to achieving architectural feats that are both delivered on time and within budget.